Good afternoon, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. It is still actually kind of early, guys. I'm gonna take a shower and get to bed. I think I'm gonna real quick throw the laundry that is in the washing machine in the dryer and take the stuff out of the dryer right now. But I got to 4 loads of laundry today, and I did dishes because I told you guys how yesterday we had started going through, like, me and my dad are gonna try and clean the attic, because that is at least something that I feel like we don't have to be like, oh, let's, you know, like, spend hours trying to get this project done, or like we need to do this or whatever. And right now it's a little weird, like we can't do, I mean, we can still do stuff outside, but there's not like a ton of stuff we can do outside just because the weather's sort of weird. It's finally starting to actually get cool though, which is sort of nice, but it's like we don't have a lot of time like during the weekdays really either, and sometimes on the weekends too. Like if we don't have the energy to try and get something done, like it's kind of tough to be like, oh, this weekend we're gonna go and build this thing or like do this or whatever, because again, like we come back from football, everybody's exhausted on Saturday, we have grocery shopping Saturday mornings, and like we always have like, it just seems like stuff sort of going on. And I told you guys too how like the fall is normally our busiest time of the year, like by far, and then it's a little tough just because right after that, like following the football season, like the high school football season, right after that winds up being like, you know, the holiday sort of, like football ends by the end of October sort of, and then right after that, you know, it's like Halloween, which isn't a huge holiday to prepare for or anything, but then right after that we have Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a lot of stuff like going on right in a row. And so, but like because of, you know, football, normally Friday nights we're always busy. Then again, we'll be watching like football games. Like yesterday we watched college football games almost all day, and then today we watched the NFL games literally all day because it's from noon until, like, you know, it was, I think honestly 10:30 at night was the time that the football games finally ended tonight. So we watched the Bears game this morning, then we watched like the post-game show, and we're sort of switching back like between that and the like 3 o'clock game, and then we watched the Sunday night football game after that. And so like I said, it was a lot of sort of switching around and stuff like that. But while we were, you know, watching the football games yesterday and today, we were really able to get to, and again, like everybody sort of also then has their own things that like they sort of need to catch up with, because it's also tough too, like Jack, my dad, and Matthew, even though Matthew's not here, he lives, you know, he's at, you know, his fraternity at school, but he, you know, when he is here, or, you know, just mainly like my dad and Jack sort of, it will have, you know, football practice like all weeknights and everything like that, except for Friday, which is the games. And again, we get home, like I think actually this week maybe we were home by 10:30. We were actually, I think, home before 10:30, which I was sort of surprised about. But so like I said, we're gone normally for a really long time on Friday nights, and pretty much Friday nights are like a complete wash. Like we're almost not home at all, I mean, other than like me and my mom earlier in the day. But then on, you know, like I said, Monday through Thursday, my dad and Jack have football practice every single night, and so they're gone normally until about 5 to 6 o'clock, and then again they come home, eat, take showers, Jack finishes his homework. Like there's not a lot of time. Like my dad normally goes to bed by like about 8 o'clock, so sometimes he really only has about 2 hours of being at home, you know, 2 to 3 hours depending on when they get back from football practice. I think football practice is over at 5 o'clock, but then again, Jack has to go and get changed in the locker room. My dad sometimes has to talk with the other coaches, so Jack just sort of like hangs around, you know, that whole sort of thing. So like I said, some nights they can wind up not being home until 6 o'clock. Like that's normally the latest. And then on Thursday nights, me and my dad go grocery shopping. So again, like there's stuff going on almost every single night. So we don't have a ton of time right now, like I said, especially, and we're sort of all just then recuperating from everything, like, you know, during the week too. Like I said, my dad works all day, then comes and, you know, has football practice for 2 hours after that, after he gets off of work, because normally he gets home around 3 o'clock anyway. So from 3 o'clock until 5 or 6 o'clock he's at then, you know, football practice. So and then like I said, after that he only has a couple hours. So he doesn't get to like a lot of the like little things, like, you know, putting laundry away, or, you know, getting to like today he ended up having to do like bill stuff, you know, that whole sort of thing too is like I said, there's just like extra things that then sort of need to be caught up with, which you can't do when you have 2 hours of your day sort of being taken out by football during the fall. Because of all of that, like I said, they, you know, are normally very busy, and then like on the weekends everybody's just sort of catching up with things. But since we're able to, like I said, we still like have time to do things, but we want to again also be able to enjoy some of watching the football games. And it is weird too, because like I said, there'll be football games that we wind up watching on Saturday, and we'll wind up having like different games at different times. Matthew's school plays at a different time. We watch Notre Dame on Saturday, you know, that kind of stuff. And then Sunday night, you know, Sunday, like I said, is normally almost all day except for early in the morning. And Saturdays too, we go to the grocery store. So, you know, but what worked out really well was my dad was bringing stuff from the attic, because we need to get our attic organized. And me and Matthew ended up sort of, I think maybe it was his first year in college, when he came home, maybe it was over like fall break or like something, or maybe Christmas break, I don't totally remember, but at some point, or maybe it was even the summer before he left for school, I don't think that's right, I want to say maybe it was fall or something like that, because I remember, or maybe it was Christmas, I don't remember, but I remember it being cold up in the attic, because I remember going through stuff and like my nose was like all like sort of running because I was so cold from being in the attic, because it's like being outside. When it's cold outside, it's like it just is cold almost in the attic. So I remember my nose getting real running because we were like in there for like a really long time. But we'd like went through, and pretty much one half of the attic got pretty much all completely organized. We cleaned everything up. We got everything organized on one half of the attic. Then what happened was we didn't completely finish. We also started like a little bit on the back. We were sort of coming around and doing like a U, because of where our stairs are in the attic. They're like right sort of in the middle of the attic, so we were sort of doing like a U back around, because we have the main door to the attic. Then when you sort of loop around a little bit, there's, like I said, the stairs that you can't really walk over because they're at an angle, you know. But then on the other side there's like a little cubby door, and that's like sort of where Matthew and Jack's like closet-y space sort of is, but it's part of the attic still, so they like hang their things and stuff like that up in there. But regardless of what winds up happening with that, like I said, me and Matthew started to make our way sort of like, we were finished like sort of the back section, and then we hadn't made it like back to this side yet. So while all of that was pretty much picked up, cleaned up, organized, gone through for the most part, we didn't ever end up finishing the whole thing. So what wound up happening was people started throwing things from the not organized side into the organized side, just loose stuff that wasn't like, we had everything in boxes organized with labels on stuff and everything like that. It was all really great and, like I said, organized. But then all this stuff started getting moved and people started throwing stuff, and then like we had, like I said, all this stuff sort of picked up and organized, and we had like all of our suitcases were nice and organized, and they actually nest. Somehow we figured out how to actually, they're all different like brands and stuff like that, but we actually got them all to nest inside of each other. Well, like when we went on vacation to St. Louis and we went to this place and that place and all this kind of stuff, you know, all the different places like recently, all the stuff we wound up using them. Like my mom has used them, Jack's used them, my dad actually maybe, yeah, I think he actually did. That was when he went to, where'd he go, Atlanta or something like that? I totally forget my dad even ended up traveling, because my dad hates flying. But I think that was in between that time that we cleaned the attic. But again, all of the suitcases never got put back properly. So now there's like tons of just loose suitcases all over the attic that didn't get put back properly, that are all over the place. It's just like a mess. And then on top of that too, when we had the attic or the roof redone, all of the like stuff that when they went and tore off, you know, pretty much all the roof, and then part of it too, they ended up having to put new plywood in some parts as well, or not plywood, but like the sub roof, not the actual, just shingles. Like part of it I think was a full tear off. So in like certain parts, like it was completely, the beams were exposed, but like a lot of the loose sort of dirt and like, you know, everything, it wound up all like falling into the attic. And so there's this like dust and like I want to say just, it's sort of like crumbs everywhere, like from the attic roof and like, you know, and the beams and stuff like that. And just all of this like sort of old dirt, you know, and stuff like that, just from them doing the tear off. And so all of that, everything that was still covered and in boxes was safe, which was awesome because over half of the attic was safe of this stuff. We didn't realize that, you know, like, and this wasn't a thing, honestly, the company we went through was a whole nother story and was horrible. And but like they didn't even bother to tell us like you might wind up like getting, you know, like roof shavings in your attic, like because we didn't have like, I mean, we don't have like in all of the spots in the attic insulation. And then I know sometimes they put the insulation and then they put like plastic over that too, which would have prevented anything from falling out because it would have just fallen into the plastic and then just rained down pretty much the roof or whatever. I didn't know any of this, like that was a possibility of getting like, you know, dirt stuff, shakings and all of this kind of stuff like on the, you know, inside of our actual attic when they were doing this. And so, like I said, like nobody mentioned that, like, oh, you might want to cover anything that's important to you that might wind up, you know, like having that problem, like, you know, thinking that it's the attic part. You know, it wasn't a problem in the finished part of the attic because that's a whole finished room. Like right now, there's nothing that's on my ceiling that's gonna fall through, but in the attic, it's not. It's just the exposed attic beams. And so, like I said, everything up there is pretty much like all dusty, all dirty. Like when we were pulling the clothes out of the attic, like there's just stuff all over it. It was disgusting. Like the amount of stuff we brought back downstairs with us and ended up getting like all over like the floors. Like my dad had to sweep and vacuum it all up, was just like disgusting. So we have to, like I said, go through all that stuff that is in the attic that was also exposed to all of the, you know, stuff in the attic as well that ended up getting all dirty and dusty and all this kind of stuff. And little, like, almost like wood chip shaving sort of is how I can probably describe it, all over in, like I said, the attic. And, like, it's everywhere, too. Like, we have to vacuum out our attic pretty much, and like, you know, just all of that stuff. So anyways, we were bringing down like my dad was bringing down like laundry baskets full of all of these clothes that were in Jack and Matthew's like closet area. Some of them were on the floor because that's how Jack cleans up, is just to throw everything in the cubby. Like if he thinks it's too small, I think he'll put it in there, and then too, if it's just like he doesn't have currently enough room for it, he would just throw it in there. But there were such nice clothes that we found in there, the stuff that definitely probably still fits him, that he just ended up throwing like in the attic because he didn't want to put the stuff away. So he ended up putting it in his like closet area on the floor, which like I said got covered and all the stuff from the attic. And like too, it's not even that some of the stuff got covered in the stuff from the attic, like this was after the fact also, but he threw it in there after the fact, so then it was on top of all the stuff that had stuff on it that was all over it and the floor and stuff like that. So that's why like we have to like sort of deep clean everything in the attic all over again, and also go through everything too, because then again too, like sometimes boxes wound up breaking or stuff fell out of boxes, so there's loose stuff sort of all over the place as well. Like we have to go through and sort of clean everything, which is again sort of a pain, but it worked out really well because we could still watch the football games. My dad would just bring stuff down and then we'd all wind up going through it, so it actually didn't end up taking that long. And again, over half the attic probably is already like organized for the most part, but we just really need to sort of go through all of everything. So that worked out really, really well for this weekend. However, all of the clothes that we wound up saving that were in the attic all need to be washed. And so I ended up doing like 4 loads of laundry today. I probably have about 10 loads of laundry right now that I need to do in total for all the clothes that were up there too. And then the other stuff that doesn't fit Jack anymore, we're actually going to give to his friend, has 3 little brothers. And so we're going to give them to them and see if they wanted any of the clothes. If not, they can just like donate it or whatever. But any of the clothes that they want, we're going to wash this stuff first though, because we won't give it to them like completely all like attic dust all over the place. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to make sure all of that stuff gets washed, but then all of the clothes that still fit Jack also make sure it gets washed too, so that he can wear the stuff. So, yeah, like I said, I have a ton of laundry to do. Like I said, about I've done 4 loads so far. 2 of the loads was actually just regular laundry stuff, but I'm mixing all of that in. It's just like probably have like 4 more loads of laundry that just came out of the attic, plus all of our normal laundry. So again, I probably have like close to maybe about 10 loads of laundry, and then we're gonna bring more stuff down maybe even tomorrow too and keep going through it. Or again, we can do more over the weekend too, and just sort of keep going through it and be able to watch the football games at the same time. Like, so everything was just sort of working out really well. So I'm happy with what we were able to sort of get done this weekend. It wasn't just like let's just lay around and be lazy, but it's so easy too, because I'm like, well, this is actually like probably one of the best things to do, because we go through the clothes, then I was able to do like laundry, and then again, it's like just in between sort of like, you know, the football games, I just, you know, a commercial, I get up, go throw a load of laundry in, and then, you know, like halftime of the next game, get up, throw another load of laundry in. And my dad was like, you know, especially too, like going through all of his clean clothes, and he put away 2 loads of laundry too, of clean stuff, and was able to get all his stuff folded up and put away and everything like that while still watching the football games. So we were just able to sort of, and Jack did the same thing too. He took care of all of his clean clothes and got that all put away. This weekend was just a massive laundry weekend, but like, not because I've been behind with laundry. It was just, like I said, most of the stuff like was all attic stuff that really needs to be taken care of. Plus too, like, I didn't do any laundry since I think Thursday, just because I was waiting to wash Jack's football stuff and his gym stuff too, for school, so that he could have it clean for tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure I did laundry over the weekend, and not like, you know, I had to wait till Friday anyway till he was done with the football game, so I didn't do it till Saturday. But I didn't do it Saturday, I just did everything today because we were going through the laundry stuff and clothes. So anyways, like I said, I do feel actually sort of accomplished. Plus I got my vitamins all set out for this week in my little vitamin organizer, and I also set out my planner today too while I was watching, or at the end of the football game. So I got all that stuff done too, so I was pretty happy with sort of the lazy accomplishments that got done for this weekend, but nonetheless still accomplishments. So anyways, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.